Hey everyone, welcome back. This is El Cid. We are back for Love is Blind UK episodes 5, 6, and 7. Netflix did it to us this week. Instead of dropping the usual 4 episodes, they dropped 5. I'm exhausted, but I am excited to share with you my thoughts on this episode. So, again, thank you for joining me. And if you really, really do enjoy my recaps, please like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. The more the merrier. So, we will go straight in. Episode 5 is called I Made a Mistake. Okay. So we started how we left off. Nicole and Benaya. Benaya wants to apologize. No, actually, skip that. He does apologize, but Nicole says in our recap that she wants to apologize and to say he is not second best. And she says if he says no, then she will be devastated. You know, they see each other, they hug, and say, "Oh my God, you exist. It's not just a purple door." So Nicole says she thought he was Bob Marley, and Benaya's like, "Yeah, you got the long hair right, but no dreadlocks." He, compliments how she's so beautiful, and she said that something just didn't click with Sam. And she was pouring into Benaya, but he was not pouring back, was what was happening in the pods. Benaya was right, and she didn't want to hear it. Don't say it too much, Nicole. Don't start off the marriage or start off a relationship with you were right. So he said it's been difficult for him after all of it. Nicole apologized, and they were just holding hands the entire time, sitting, cozily on the couch facing each other. So Benaya said he couldn't get it out of his head. He's at peace with her, and this is real. He doesn't want to lose her again. He said a seed has been sown and he wants to help it grow. He asks her to stand up and he kneels and proposes. I'm like, wait a minute. She says yes. And I'm like, is this a new record? A lady receiving 2 proposals in the same season? I need to check the Love is Blind archives because I know, people usually break up and then they propose to the other person. But this is the first time a lady has received 2 proposals? Okay. So we head back to Greece. We leave them hugging it out at the cafe. And we start with Sabrina and Steven. He comes out wearing his Speedos. Like, yay, this is what I was telling you about. And she is just having a blast, laughing and giggling, and says he brings out the fun and the laughter. Maria and Tom, she wants to meet all the other couples. And Tom says, Ollie said that he broke up with Catherine. And Maria's like, but Catherine said she broke up with him. So they both are like, I want the gossip. We tune into Freddie and Catherine. Catherine feels like they've been together for a year. And they talk about Ollie. Catherine says she does not like how Ollie twisted her words to make it seem like he broke up with her. Because he went back and told the fellas, I broke up with her, whatever. Freddie says it doesn't matter. It seems to be a pride thing. Ollie and Demi, Ollie, says it hits him that he is so lucky. And Demi's like, well, they don't want to rush to physical, and Ollie's like, any anxiety and fears about, the physical. And she says she expects it to go well. They, get along well, so she expects that too. Ollie says if you give sex too much importance, you can miss the other stuff like a deep connection. Demi, yeah. Demi didn't seem too nice when he mentioned he wanted to meet Catherine. When he mentioned her name, Demi's face dropped. And I know, Demi, you're thinking, oh my God, he's going to meet her and he's going to think that that's better for him. Demi says she's concerned that the outside noise is going to start coming into their relationship. And I love her shirt. It says perfectly imperfect. And I need you to embrace that, Demi. You are perfectly imperfect. And that's a wonderful thing to be. So the couples come together. Jasmine says, to Bobby, you look like my man. all the guys and girls when they meet each other, it's like deep hugs, and the thing is the spouse knows all those people and don't know the other people. So the men know all the men, but don't know who the fiancés are because they just heard a voice. And the women knew all the fiancés, and the men are like, yeah, you're gonna have to, pick me up on that. So Ollie is like, who's that? They're like, oh, that's Catherine. And Ollie does one of my cardinal sins. One sin, I think, oh, he licks his lips when he looks at Catherine. Now, he's in a warm climate. His lips could be parched. But, and then he says, looks like what he thought. Ollie, it didn't look good. Ollie says, with one twist of fate, it could all have been different. Jasmine's like, yeah, but Catherine's happy. Leave it alone. Catherine and Ollie go sit down and talk. She talks about it. He apologized, and he, he's not going to say he didn't say, to the fellas that he broke up with her, but that's not how he recalls it. But if that's what's being said, any misunderstanding, totally apologize. So Catherine says she's happy that he's happy. She respects him and say, don't talk about me. Don't be putting my name out there amongst the group. So Ollie said we had a vibe. She is, how he pictured her. And she said, I didn't expect the beard. And she's like, not the beard. So, Ollie said it was interesting seeing Catherine. I still don't like them licking the lips, Ollie. I didn't like it. So Jasmine and Demi were talking while Ollie and Catherine were talking on the side. Demi said, it's fine. She doesn't want to give off jealousy vibes. Demi, even if you're not looking at them, they can feel the vibe. She said she doesn't want to overthink. And the song comes on, You're Under My Spell. Yeah, because you're overthinking, Demi. So everybody's like, who we missing? Sam and Nicole. I was like, whoa. Jasmine went over to, Demi and Ollie. Jasmine sent Demi over to Ollie to talk. She's like, you know what? You got something to say? Let it out. Demi's like, I'm making you feel odd, and Ollie calls Bobby. And he's like, yo, Bobby did. And he's like, I'll be back. And leaves Demi there. They haven't finished their conversation. And he goes to the couch to talk to Bobby. Whew. Bobby says, Catherine seems to be eyeing Ollie. And Ollie's like, his concern is Demi. But I'm like, you walked away from her. How could she be your concern? Bobby's like, he and Jasmine have been intimate. Okay, happy for you, Bobby. And Ollie says, it's never too soon, it's never too late, everything in its due time. And the song is I'm Falling, when Bobby came to talk to Jasmine and Demi. It's like, I'm falling. And it feels like the song is for Demi, like she's falling into her mind space. Bobby told Demi that, yeah, we talked about y'all, but it's all good. It's all good. Ollie's good. Don't overthink this. If you tell me don't overthink, I'm going to overthink. Then to lighten the mood, guess who walks in? Nicole and Benaiah. I'm going to call him Ben, because every time I keep saying I'm going to pronounce it incorrectly, and I don't want to do that to him. So Ben and Nicole walk in, and everybody's like, oh my God, and they just run and hug them. Ben and Nicole, they explain what happened. Both Ollie and Demi are quiet when the guys go to their section and the ladies go to their section, and they're talking about their partner and how wonderful and great and kissy and handholdy. And Demi scoots down. She scoots down all the way on the couch. And Ollie's just looking everywhere and quiet. Like, woo. So Demi's like, everybody's lovey-dovey and she needs PDA from him when they're in groups. And Jasmine's like, you need to tell your man what you need. So after the mixer, everybody goes back to their villas. Freddie and Catherine. Catherine says she felt the tension from Demi, but she cares about Demi and she doesn't understand where it's coming from. Freddie said he felt looked over when they were all laughing with Ollie, when she was laughing with Ollie, but he feels secure. You felt looked over. You felt like she was standing aside. Well, I guess you would feel that, but she's got to have this conversation on her own, Freddie. So I'm wondering what else was done that you feel distant. But there's another couple that discusses it, and we'll discuss it then. We cut to Nicole and Ben. Nicole's like, hey, we both sleep in the same direction, so you're welcome to spoon. And Benaya's like, do you snore? Because I don't want any wandering hands. And when the lights cut out, he's like, wait a minute, was that a fart? And Nicole just thinks he's hilarious. It's like, don't point that out. If it happened, it happened. It's nature. Jasmine and Bobby, they went and did mud masks. And Jasmine, she did not like that Catherine and Ollie were looking at each other from across the room all night. Jasmine said it. She clocked it. Whew. She said he should talk to Demi if it was her, meaning if Bobby was talking to some other love interest he had, she would have butt in. She would have climbed on that couch too. Bobby said it was a weird energy with Ollie. He's like, Ollie doesn't have bad intentions, but he and Catherine were giving each other the eye all night. Jasmine wants Demi to be treated well, and she's going to talk to Ollie. Bobby's like, glad that she has Demi's back. But Jasmine, butt out of other people's business. Demi needs to speak to Ollie and speak up to her for herself. Because you're not going to be there with them in their marriage, in their relationship, when she needs to communicate with him. So you need to talk to your friend Demi and encourage her to talk to Ollie. Don't you talk to Ollie. Demi and Ollie. Ollie says, what's wrong with you today? She's like, I feel weird. Ollie's like, it was weird, but don't we, why don't we go to sleep and talk about it tomorrow? Ollie, are you running away from the conversation? I'm always let's talk about it now, but maybe he does need time. We don't know. Demi says, y'all were laughing a lot, you and Catherine. He's like, yeah, but it was not a flirty laughter. I don't feel for her what I feel for you. He set his eyes on what he has with Demi. And Demi said she felt awkward. I'm like, Ollie, are you listening to Demi? She's telling you how she feels. So we cut to episode 6. So you see how quickly 5 was? We are only 13 minutes in and a whole episode has been recapped. Because there wasn't much going on except for the reveal of Nicole and Ben and everybody talking about each other. It's a long mixer. We're still in Greece in episode 6. Ben and Nicole, he feeds her breakfast, which was really cute. I like that. Then we wake up with Ollie and Demi. He said he did not like her being quiet yesterday. She said it's not her, but she was not prepared for the Catherine and Freddie reveal. And Ollie's like, okay, I understand. That's normal. So I'm guessing Ollie, now that he's slept on it, he can discuss it. That's what I'm thinking. Demi says she struggles with communication. She gets quiet when she's uneasy. And Ollie said he's not upset or annoyed, but he just feels bad that she felt this way. She's like, when we're in our own space, our own bubble, we're cool. And he's like, she's the one for him. Don't worry about it. And Demi's like, she will make more effort when they're in a group. And Ollie's like, when you feel that way, tell your face. I was like, oh my God, Ollie, are you saying Demi has resting bee face? Oh my God. He's like, when you feel like that, tell your face because you need to cover it up. Now, is that funny or is that bad? Tell me in the comments. If you feel that way, if you feel upset or whatever, tell your face. And you want to cover it up, tell your face. Dang, Ollie. I don't know whether to laugh or cry or side eye. Put it in the comments. Catherine and Freddie. She's like, the best part was, whew, the best part is living with Freddie, but he leaves the toilet seat up. He apologized. He says that she has to have bad traits. What are they? She's like, are you joking? I'm like, Catherine, we all have bad traits. He says, well, you make a little noise. And she's like, my sniffling at 6 a.m.? He's like, yeah. And then she makes this cute thing. Okay, I'll try to stop it. And she starts sniffling the whole time to make him laugh. I thought that was cute. But I too sniffle in the morning. First thing, I don't know. Is it morning? Am I allergic to waking up in the morning to go to work? Is that it? Jasmine and Bobby go swimming. They have to jump off the boat into the water. And Jasmine was like, oh no, I'm scared, Bobby. He's like, come on. He already jumped in. Come on. Jasmine, I do ask, how did you go into the water with those big hoop earrings? I'd be scared they'd be lost. Tom and Maria, they're like, Demi and Ollie are the only ones that didn't seem as close. Tom asked, how about what the folks saw when they saw them? And she's like, oh, the girls saw it. We're connected. We're good. And he's like, okay, I'm glad that the girls saw it. I'm like, what does it matter? These are other couples on their own journey that may not be seeing stuff in their own relationship. So, Tom, what does it matter if the girls see it? Nicole and Ben, Nicole says intimacy is brewing. I guess that means it's getting hot. Ben's like, yes, and because she's beautiful, it certainly helps. And Nicole says, emotional attraction is important. Emotional attraction is important. What is emotional attraction? What's that? I don't understand that. Put it in the comment section. What is emotional attraction? Am I attracted to your emotions, or am I attracted to you emotionally? But if I'm attracted to you, it gives me certain emotions. I'm confused, Nicole. I have questions. She said she was not intimate until she was in her 20s because she was conscious of who she shares her body with. She will take her time. Okay. Ben says he will take his time and wait for it to be special. And he says, no wandering hands, because he ain't a piece of meat when that time comes. I was like, that is such a cute joke. What is up with Ben and these wandering hands? And Ben asks, is he funny enough? Can he get a second date? I was like, Ben, you're here on a whole Greek vacation. It is more than a second date. Stephen and Sabrina go horseback riding. It's on the beach. Sabrina is happy to come to London and see how it's like. And Stephen says, they can decide later on whether it's Belfast, where she lives, or London, close to where he lives. And I like Stephen and Sabrina. They are, smooth couple of the season because there have been no hiccups. But we'll wait. We have Catherine and Freddie. Catherine, does Freddie have random females or crazy exes she needs to worry about when they get back to London? Catherine, yes. Freddie is too fine not to have crazy exes or random females. Okay. He says, no, there's no one, and he has a small circle of friends. Catherine, he don't know, because the other ex knows about the crazy ex. Catherine says she always doubts herself and does not feel good enough. He's like, I tell you you're beautiful every day. And Catherine broke my heart when she said she's never been with someone who said it and meant it. And she always needs assurances. And asked, do you trust me fully? That assurance thing can wear on a partner. So, Catherine, if you constantly need assurance, Freddie may get tired of constantly reassuring you. Because he'll be like, is my love not enough? What else do you need from me? Freddie says he trusts that their connection is true, and she trusts him, but it will take longer. Then Catherine asks, have you cheated? And Freddie says yes. He did it once. Catherine's like, did you tell her? Freddie says she found out, and it's a massive regret of his. What are we talking about in the pods? Catherine, did you not ask if someone cheated in a relationship? Did you not ask how someone ended a previous relationship? I mean, I'm not understanding why you're asking this now. And now she's mad. Now it's turned the entire day and she's mad. Catherine says, I've never cheated. And Freddie asks, does this change your opinion of me? She said, it's hard. It's hard to hear because she's one of those people that believe once a cheater, always a cheater. So now she has doubts and will struggle in the outside world. And the shady song of Netflix is Careful What You Wish For. I was like, Catherine, you wanted the good looking guy, you wanted all of that. Careful what you wish for. Because now he also cheated one time, he said, years ago. So are you going to forgive him? He did not cheat on you. And it's one time. So is it a pattern, or are you stuck on the once a cheater, always a cheater trope? But Catherine's face just fell. We are no longer the happy couple. So the couples go out for drinks. This is their last night in Greece. Freddie says Catherine has been funny since he admitted to cheating before, and she looks so sad. And the song of that moment is Don't Let There Be Any Doubt. The host show up, and says, wait a minute, you were with someone else. That was shady. You knew what happened. Production told you. The host says, there's physical connection. And has there been physical connection? And Steven says, yeah. It's so cute. Then Sabrina just hits him like, hush, hush. Jasmine worried about her mom, who has no filter. I mentioned this before, people, about the whole my mom is my best friend. I'm worried. Bobby. I'm worried. I'm worried for you, Bobby. Sabrina says, her sister, is going to be the one that may grill him. And the host asks, will love be enough? And the song comes on, Should We Level Up? And I noticed something. Ollie apparently listened to Demi, and in this time with the couples and drinks, he was hugging on her more. And that was nice to see that not only he listened, but he applied it. Then Ollie and Ben get to talking. Ollie's like, we are not the hands-on couple, the handsy couple, like everybody else. And Ben is like, don't let other couples make you judge where you are in a relationship. This is for you and Demi. Ollie's like, he's overwhelmed when he's in a group setting and he feels isolated with the guys. So that overwhelmed feeling with the couples, but Ollie is the life of the party. So there's something else going on there that you feel the need to be the life of the party. But if you are not the center of the party, then you are overwhelmed. Is it that you nervous energy? You don't know what to do? I got to look at Ollie a little bit further. Sabrina and Steven, she says she needs validation. She needs validation from him. I'm like, well, you need that a lot, Sabrina. Because, I just told Freddie and Catherine, constantly giving assurance, and now with you, validation, your spouse may get tired. Catherine and Demi sit down for a chat. Catherine said, she didn't want to bombard Demi that first night, that first mixer. And Demi totally appreciated it. She said, you know what? Thank you for thinking of me. She does overthink. She was all in her head, and she appreciated that. Catherine said she can't be fake with what she has with Freddie, so don't worry about her. Demi's all happy for Catherine. Y'all look good together. And Catherine reciprocates. She's like, you and Ollie look great. And Freddie had asked, why was Demi so quiet? Because Freddie didn't get to meet Demi and have a conversation that first night. And Demi says, she sees his side. She sees and understands that because she doesn't want Freddie to feel uncomfortable thinking he may be the cause of how she was quiet. So Demi says she sees all different sides to Ollie. She sees that he's a class clown and that he's one of the lads, you know. And Demi's like, she's trying to protect their space and their time together so they can bond. I'm hearing all of this, all of the noise and letting noise in, and I'm like, y'all need to build up some, walls or something. So Catherine's like, show us that you're happy. If you are happy with him, then show it. Just be yourself. Steven talks with Freddie. And Freddie's like, they got deep about things. They talked about cheating. It was 7 years ago that he cheated. And Steven's like, how'd she take it? He's like, well, not well. It hurt, but it doesn't define who he is. He wants to be truthful and loyal to Catherine. So Steven says this important thing is, have you learned from it? And they cut away from the song, says, are you going to take me home? I don't want to spend this life alone. Interesting song choice, Love is Blind. Bobby and Ollie. Bobby goes and, talks to Ollie. They sit on the couch and Ollie said, this is all overwhelming. Jasmine, true to form, she said it. She jumped right in the middle of them. She didn't sit on Bobby's other side, so they're both looking at Ollie. She sits between Bobby and Ollie, laid up on Bobby. And I'm like, girl, could you back it up a bit? Jasmine is like, you should have talked to Demi first, not Bobby. Ollie's like, he felt, the same after, but he processes things a little bit slow. And I'm thinking Ollie does things in the moment, and he later on will be like, dang, I should have done something else. We've all had that happen to us. Jasmine's like, you're not doing anything. Ollie's like, I want to chat with Demi and no one else. But Jasmine keeps going in on Ollie. Oh my gosh. She's like, be honest. Be honest. Are you feeling it or not? Do you like her or not? He's, where's your head at? I'm just asking. Ollie's like, this is putting more pressure on me. Could you not? Could you not? She's like, I don't want there to be bad blood. He's like, well, why are you coming for me? She's like, I'm not. Jasmine, how could you think you weren't coming for the man? You were rapid fire. Do you like her? Are you feeling her? Yes, no, make up your mind. You're here or leave. You were rapid firing at Ollie. And this is not your man. Leave him alone. Demi says she doesn't want going into her shell to have folks looking at Ollie weird. Because it's not Ollie, it's what she's thinking and processing. Ollie tells Demi, I don't want my relationship to be constantly under scrutiny. If there's something wrong, he wants to hear it from her. Everyone misunderstands him, and he's sick of being villainized. That's the word he used. He's sick of being villainized. They barely know Jasmine. And then Demi's like, no, don't say that. Don't say that. She knows Jasmine. And I'm like, Demi, did you know Jasmine before this? Because if you only spent 10 days living with this lady in the pods, you don't know her. Ollie is correct. You don't know her. But if y'all were friends before this experiment, then I can concede it. But I doubt that's it. Ollie's like, no one here has his back. And because you made that statement, Demi, is why I think he said that. Because you already backing up Jasmine. Don't say that. Don't say that. I know her. Ollie goes on, no one has my back. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm done with it. And he feels and looks overwhelmed. Ollie's like, if my friends come at you like that, is that going to make us closer or distant? And Demi admitted it will make us distant. He's like, if you put too much pressure on something, it's going to crumble. I want to go home. I thought he was going to say, if my friends come at you like that, I put a stop to it. That's what I would say. But I can't judge them on what I would say. But definitely, if my friends are coming at my person and I see they're making them uncomfortable, I'll be like, yo, we got to chillax. We got to stop. Chill. Yeah, well, the rap song, you got to chill. You got to stop that. This is not time, place, and this ain't your relationship. So when he says, I want to go home, she's like, well, then go home. Demi, this is your man. He said, I should not have come here. I'm done with this And the song says, let me fade away. And he walks out. Sabrina from across the way is like, oh my God, Ollie just stormed off. Mm, 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 mm. Wow, I felt overwhelmed with that whole engagement with Jasmine and then Demi not understanding him. But then she's overwhelmed. So they both overwhelmed. So they can't really help each other come down and face things. That's a hard place to be. That's a hard situation to be in. Whew, I do not envy them at all. The next day, the song starts with I'll never be an angel. Ooh. Mm. And we start with Demi and Ollie. I just talked about how they didn't get it right, and now it's like, I'll never be an angel. Okay. Demi's sitting outside, and Ollie comes out, and he says, he's getting that it's even for them. I'm like, even? What does that mean? It's like, it's getting like it's no wins, no losses. And Demi's like, this is like marriage. He's like, yeah, he's not jokey. She's not her usual open self. Has this been it for us? Is this the end? Demi's like, she's feeling overwhelmed, but she wants to get back to London and see how things go. And the song is, I don't know what to say. I'm telling you, these song choices are off the chain. This is why I make note of it, because these song choices are about the moment and sometimes about what's coming. So everyone's packing up to leave and they're chitty-chatting with their fiance and Catherine and Freddie. Freddie is telling her, yo, this cheating thing from 7 years ago, one time that I did it in my lifetime, and it's 30-something. I think Freddie's 30 or 32. This don't define him. And he wants to be able to talk to her. Catherine says she is sad, that he's upset. It's not going to be rainbows every day. He cries and he said he wants to trust her and he doesn't want to give her any doubts. He's afraid of losing her and he has his insecurities. And while he's crying and she's wiping his tears, I'm like, Freddie is the one who cheated. She's upset about it, yet she's the one consoling him. And it just didn't compute for me. It did not compute. I'm like, is this for real? Is he really upset that it's upset her? Or is he manipulating her to get her off the subject? But I don't know Freddie. Don't know him. I have high hopes for him, but I don't know him. Freddie says, he doubts that she believes him. And she's like, hey, I doubt it too, but I'll have to see how you behave out in the real world. And we make it to London. Dun, dun, dun. And we are told it is 21 days until the weddings. I mean, daggone it, y'all. 3 weeks? That is a lot. 3 weeks. And y'all are getting married. Sabrina and Steven, she's concerned with the outside noise. And Steven says he's looking forward to exploring London with her. Jasmine and Bobby, she says she doesn't like using her phone with other people around. And she is jealous. And is he the IG scrolling type? Bobby's like, should I take a hint that you don't want me using my phone when I'm around you? Take that hint, Bobby. Take that hint and buy a vowel. Ben and Nicole. Ben brings her out on the balcony and said, listen, when I proposed to you that second time in the cafe when we met up after you ditched Sam, he didn't say that, but I said that. He didn't have a ring. And so now he has a ring, and she's jumping up and down like so happy, and he puts the ring on the right finger, and she lets him put the ring on. So let me ask you, would you accept a proposal without a ring? If someone spontaneously proposes, or maybe savings aren't up to par, will you accept a marriage proposal without a ring like Nicole did? Put your comments in the chat. Put it in the comment. Let me know. Or have you accepted a proposal without a ring? That'll be interesting to know as well. Freddie and Catherine, they seem to have fizzled all the way down. It seems like a dark cloud, like they're sulky. They're not mad, but like they're no longer the happy chipper they were when they started. Catherine says that the cheating is playing on her mind. I understand, Catherine. Technically, you don't know this man. Ollie and Demi. Ollie says they were close to walking away, but he is not a quitter. They have things to work through, and he doesn't want the outside noise in his relationship. Demi says she's ready to see everyone again, but she agrees with him that they could stay in their bubble. It says that the song is Stop with the I Don't Know. And I'm like, is he isolating her? Because when he's like, I don't want anybody in our relationship, what's really going on? And is he isolating her? I just don't understand. As I said, is Ollie isolating Demi? Because when you say you don't want to be around other people, don't want to be around the group, it doesn't bode well for me. You got to adjust to the group. You are on a show. Either you walk away from the show or you stick it out. You just said you're not a quitter, but I digress. We go to Nicole and Ben. Nicole says living together moves the physical along. And Ben is like, it's not the be all end all, being physical, but he's glad they have a connection and they both are happy. And the song is These Are the Good Days. Is this a foreshadowing? We have Tom and Maria. They got to be stricter about his phone use. Tom, are you the always on the phone? Are you our new always on the phone guy, but they didn't show the footage? Tom is like, that's because I'm a PR exec. I was like, Tom, stop. You're not always on work on the phone. Maria's like, what was your thought when he learned she was a makeup artist? He's like, he was a bit judgmental. He's pretty judgy. He wants a partner that has ambition so they can have a good life. Maria finds it stupid that people judge her based on her occupation. She is not her job. And Tom said before the experiment, he would have judged a makeup artist as being overly concerned about their look. And Maria's like, if you're going to be judgmental, then you should not have been here at all. And she's not going to let anyone make her feel less than because of her job. You tell her, Maria, you're a makeup artist. You can be ambitious. You can have a great career as a makeup artist. Sorry for getting overly emotional about that. She says she would not want to share a space with someone that she is uncertain of. And the song is On Your Knees, Begging Me to Ruin You. So I'm like, what are we talking about in the pods? Maria is crying on the bed. Tom is walking away to the living room. What are we talking about in the pods, if not about our careers, at the very least? Come on, what are we talking? What are we saying? You should have known from the pods, Maria, that he was judgy about your job. Golly. So this is how we end episode 6 and transition into episode 7. Steven and Sabrina, he says, babe, once you have these pancakes, you'll want to marry him right away. I love Steven's confidence, his joke banter. I would like to see him serious sometimes. I only see it with the fellas, but I like to see it with Sabrina. Just my preference, but hey, this is an edited show. Ollie and Demi, she's put a post-it note on the toilet to remind him to keep the toilet seat down. And I'm like, why do you put a blue post-it note to remind him to put the toilet seat down? This is not kindergarten. But put a pin in that one because it comes up later. Nicole and Ben, they go bike riding through town, and she's just having the time of her life. We move over to Freddie and Catherine. Freddie says, since the vacation has been tense. Catherine is annoyed by all of his antics. He's like, oh, we could put coffee in this cup. She's like, no, that's a teacup. And he's like, oh, you like this shoe? Hey, can we get this in a size 11? And she is mortified. It's like, Catherine, is that your real size? Because if it is, fine. I'm an 11 and a half. Whatever. She said, he's winding me up by being so sarcastic. She wants him to be serious and they feel like friends and not fiance. He's like, when we go shopping, I will sit at the lounge, I'll sit at the lounge and wait for you while you're shopping. When he said that, she was like, I don't want to feel like I'm dragging you to go shopping with me, as I want a shopping partner. And he's like, he apologizes and then he rubs her arm. She's like, don't stroke me like a dog. I'm not a dog. Dang it, Catherine. I thought you said you set it aside. You seem still upset about this. And Freddie says he feels misunderstood. He feels like he's a bit too much for her and he needs to turn it down. And yes, I could understand that, Freddie, but y'all don't know each other. And turning it down now makes me feel like you're not being fully yourself. So it's a catch-22. You don't want to show all, but you don't want to lose yourself by editing yourself. But Catherine was biting. And Catherine, let me tell you something. Sometimes your shopping partner are your best friends. The ladies can go shopping with you. Or like myself, I love going shopping alone. I don't want to be on anybody's schedule. I don't want to be on anybody's time. So shopping alone is good for me. Just me. We go to Ollie and Demi. They have dinner with Demi's friends. They come over and they have to go shopping at the grocery store first. Demi says it's hard for Ollie to be organized. And he's like, he's not a child, he can focus. She's like, why don't you go over there and I'll go pick up over there? No, I'm fine. I'm not a child. It's like, ooh. Ollie's like, can we just order in and throw everything in a pan? I was like, I'm with you, Ollie. Just why am I pressured to not only cook, but serve, make sure y'all got it together, y'all like it. Let me just order something, throw it in a pan, and act like I cooked it. Now, I just inserted the act like I cooked this. I'd totally tell you, hey, I didn't cook. I ordered from our favorite restaurant. Here you go. Ollie has a little blunder and he drops the avocado because he's making vegan items. So he's making vegan guacamole. And we learn later how guacamole can be vegan. We'll wait till the friends come over. Jasmine and Bobby, they have Indian food, which looked divine. I feel for Indian food. Golly, that food looks so good. Jasmine says living with him is so easy. And Bobby's like, he's not always on his phone. Jasmine says she feels insecure because exes could not be trusted on social media. And if she cannot trust Bobby, then Firecracker Jasmine will come out. Jasmine, who is Firecracker Jasmine? Or did we meet her when you talked to Ollie? Did we meet her already? Or is there another level to the firecracking? Because that was wild. So Jasmine says, hey, Bobby, I searched you on YouTube and saw your music video. Bobby, you got a music video? She holds it up and plays it for him. Bobby's like, yeah, I knew you'd see that. Jasmine pulls up the video, and the song is Body of a Dancer. But she's holding it up to him and looking at him like she's the principal in the office. Explain this. What is this? He's like, that wasn't yesterday. Calm down. I said calm down. He didn't. It wasn't yesterday. It was 2 years ago. You know, Jasmine said, since he's a musical artist, this will come up. Why didn't this come up in the pods? I had mentioned this in my recap. I had mentioned this in the live on Little Black Book 91. Check out his channel. He has wonderful stuff there. I mentioned this. He is no longer the luxury concierge or luxury shopper for folks on a cruise. What is he going to do? What does he do? Well, Bobby's a music artist. Lovely video. Cute, catchy song. But I'm like, what are y'all talking about? How did you not know he had a music video? If you're so concerned with social media, you should have asked Jasmine in the pods, what is your social media activity like? Jasmine said she doesn't like seeing that because he's behind a model and he's just, you know, he's not overly dancing, but he's flirtatious behind the model. It was calm and tasteful to me, but that's me. That's not Jasmine. She doesn't like to see that. She said the real world brings back her past trust issues in relationships. You know, she's the girl that's checking your phone, who you're following, and does not want to go back to that person. She wants to be secure. She needs reassurances. And will he respect her in person and when they're not together? Bobby's like, he's glad she brought it up, and he will try to reassure her. She has been with the wrong ones, and she's not anymore. You better talk that, Bobby. Tell her. That was the wrong man. I'm the right one, baby. I'm sorry. Shout out to Ray Charles. Bobby said he is happy, and he wants to call her his wife soon, and it's his job to reassure her. But again, another person who needs reassurance that it may get tiring. We have Ollie and Demi. Her friends come over, which are James and Jasmine. It's like all these J names, all these. Wait a minute. So Ollie looks very uncomfortable, but he was very nice and gracious when they brought gifts, and Demi's directing him to point out, hey, tell them about your vegan dip. Hey, tell them about this. It was cute and like, okay, girl, calm down. So, you know, Jasmine, you know, says, not Jasmine, sorry. Ollie and Demi are talking about the whole nachos and what makes it vegan. Apparently, it's the cheese. It's vegan cheese because everything else is a vegetable. So Ollie says this, Jasmine, her friend, says this is how it is around with the girls, you know. Demi's like, she went into a shell being around, living with all those girls in the pods. So James said, were there any clashing with the people in the pods? James, these are Demi's friends, James and Jasmine. So James said, were they clashing or did anyone like the same person? So Ollie and Demi look at each other. And Demi's like, there's one girl that like Ollie. And James is like, oh, we getting into something. But Demi says she trusted and her relationship was stronger. And they both said they were happy. James is like, have y'all spoken of the future? Because y'all are speaking about, I'm happy now. So Ollie's like, yeah, we spoke about the future, where we live, you know, having kids. And James is like, you want kids? Because remember, I guess James, like we were told, he probably knows that Demi, his very good friend, has endometriosis, and it may be challenging for her to have kids. So Demi, you know, interrupts Ollie and says, hey, he made her feel comfortable because he's okay with adopting or fostering. And Ollie breaks out something very interesting we had not heard about before. He said his mom was adopted. And they love each other. And basically, he has no problem with adopting. They will have a loving home, and they kind of like shake off the whole conversation. That brings up something for me later to think about. So we have James and Jasmine. These are still Demi's friends. They said, take your time. There's no rush. There's no pressure. Have fun and have good banter with each other. James said it seems like they feel safe and they both like Ollie and approve. James says it's not enough time for them to be this strong of a connection, but he does like Ollie. Catherine and Freddie, Freddie has a house, not just a regular house, but it looked like a real nice house. But it looked like a fixer-upper, but a lot of the rooms are fixed. I was like, Freddie, okay, I understand. Catherine is surprised because it seemed nice and homey and says, why is the mirror in your bedroom all glitter? Why is there a glitter border? Catherine, remember, Freddie's mama and sister probably helped him decorate. She said, this is a little bougie for a funeral director, and this is a different side to Freddie. Freddie said it feels, weird, but it feels right. So Catherine apologized for being snappy at him. So we don't see that. We don't see her being snappy. So we know it's editing. Freddie stops her from apologizing. And I'm like, Freddie, stop stopping her from apologizing. Hear her out. Freddie said he's sorry for pushing her buttons and winding her up. Okay. So we go to Maria and Tom. They had a tussle about her job, but she's not holding it against him. Maria's excited for him to meet her family. The sister and Tom are very similar. But she reminds him, because of her religion, she is Muslim, PDA is not the norm, and it cannot be full frontal PDA in front of her mom. Tom says, well, I just want to show them that I do love you. And Maria's like, if they don't like you, I will leave. So she says her religion made it hard to date and that her dad would have loved Tom. And they had a wonderful, tender moment. And he said every time he hears of her dad, he would have liked him too, but it would have been scary meeting him. I bet you, Tom. I bet you. So 18 days till the wedding, and the song is These Are the Good Days. Another foreshadowing song, I'm guessing. So you have Freddie and Catherine. He shows her his funeral garments, the top hat, the cane. I did not think it was top hat and cane was the whole getup. And it looked like they stayed in his house overnight. Catherine's like, ooh, you pull off a sexy funeral director. We go to Ollie and Demi, said she is lovely and he enjoys spending time with her. Sounds like friends, Ollie. The way you said it, it made it sound like we good buds. Yeah. Ollie asked her, who's better at communicating? And Demi's like, me, because I could talk about it. You just get quiet. He agrees with her. Demi says his pacing and impatience and then his impulsiveness do get to her. She notices all that. Ollie said it is mad the way she notices these things about him. And he said he's never admitted it to anyone but 3 people outside of his family that he has ADHD. He said his last relationship, he waited a year to tell her, and she felt like he was shutting her out. I said, is Demi hyper aware? And how did Jasmine, as the mental health nurse, not notice this? Or is it that Jasmine is healthy in the regard of she puts her nursing hat away and doesn't psychoanalyze her friends? I'm going to go with that positive spin on Jasmine. But Demi is hyper aware. I'm looking at that. Ollie says it is really severe for him, but no one notices, and he does struggle with it. He says what may take you 30 minutes may take him hours to even just attempt to do it. He's never finished a book in his life because he cannot. Wow, that's rough. I am a reader. I read close to 500 books, or used to. I used to read over 500 books a year. So hearing Ollie, I really feel for him. So Demi says, look at how articulate you are, even without that. The proposal was beautiful. It might have taken him a bit longer, but he is still amazing. And she loves that about him, and he should not be ashamed. And she is so glad that he opened up about it. He thanks her for being patient and understanding, and Demi says it's beautiful when he opens up. And the ADHD does explain why he's the life of the party for me. It does. It totally explains it. And I understand why he behaves the way he behaves some of the time. Not all of the time. Because it really, really exemplifies what's going on. It's like, wow. Oh, I feel for him. Nicole and Ben, he is saging. She's like, yo, he is saging. I've gotten him to sage. And Ben is like, I've gotten her to start waking up early. They're so cute. That moment was cute. I had to mention it. Catherine and Freddie go to meet Freddie's family. His sister, they say it's Betsy Dora. Warm hugs at the door. Then to meet his mom, Jack, his special needs brother, and his brother-in-law. His family seems to know. The mama knew about the show. Mama's like, yeah, I heard all about it. Knew all about it. And she would talk to his brother every day, Jack, and say, hey, where's Freddie? And Jack is always doing this airplane sign, like Freddie's on a plane. And Freddie's like, every day? Mama's like, yeah, every day you're on a plane. Catherine does say, hey, you forget there's a person on the other side of the wall. And she cried the whole time when he proposed. And the family's like, oh, that's so sweet. Mom said she didn't know what was going to happen. Sister says, we always wanted him to marry and find someone. And Mama said, he has always been a loyal boy. And Kat side-eyes him. Like, if your mama only knew. She's like, Mama says, they think he has lots of girlfriends, but he doesn't. All old ladies come out when he comes to visit. And the brother-in-law is like, Kat, you got some competition from them old ladies. Kat is like, I'm going to step my game up. But meeting the family went well. She seems to fit in, and Freddie did ask his brother Jack to be his best man. And Freddie tears up and say, Jack is his buddy, and it made him who he is today, and this is everything. Freddie is such a sensitive young man. So sensitive. So I'm not going to go each frame by frame. So I'm going to go right back into when they come back to the family so we could finish the family visit in one go. So Mom says Freddie was a chunky baby. Chunky baby. He looked like a sumo wrestler. So the sister and Freddie talk, and, Sis says he seems to be under pressure and very quiet. Sis says they look like an IG couple. Freddie said he can see himself marrying her, but his jokiness grates on her. He is reserved and she is outgoing. And it's just like, it's a give and take. Take some of the pressure off. Deep down, you're a softie. And you got to be your own person. And if she does not make you feel good enough, he's like, he doesn't feel good enough. Sis is like, is she good enough for you is how you may need to look at it. So Maria and Tom, they go and meet her family, her sister, her mother, her brother, and her brother-in-law, Warren. And I'm like, the brother-in-law looks to be quite like Tom, so they must be used to someone who is not Muslim marrying into the family. So they asked her young niece, why don't you give Tom a hug? And the niece is like waving from afar. And I love the fact that the family did not pressure her to give hugs. I am not um, one for pressuring children to have physical contact with someone they don't know. So I loved it. So, and Tom was so gracious about it. He was like, okay. She's like, that's fine. That's fine. How about a high five? She gave him a high five and we were fine. That is exactly what Ava, the young lady, was comfortable with. It was such a sweet moment to me. So mom, asked Maria, are you happy? Are you good? She's like, yeah. So the sister Salma was like, how did y'all connect? They're like, we got the same humor. Salma was like, Salma looked like she's used to Maria's humor. So, is it easy to talk to each other? Salma asks, and, because that's important and that is nice. And mom said she'd been worried. And Salma was like, it's overwhelming. The heart and mind has not had time to catch up, but they will be supportive as a family. Tom said he never had couscous before. This is continuing with their visit. And Maria's like, they are fine getting married. And Salma's like, it has been a bit different to date being of the Muslim faith. Tom is like, being a good person is what it's all about, is his understanding. And Maria's like, he was judgy earlier. He judged me. Tom said, in this whole thing, I'm still learning a lot about myself. And the mother said, it's all about love and consideration. So Salma and Tom go inside, take the dishes, and the brother's like, oh, you doing dishes? You could come back. That was cute. That was cute. So Salma and Tom, which is Maria's sister, they go in and they have a chat. And Salma asks, what do you have to work on? And Tom says, he hopes that her perception of him is positive, but he does have a few things to work on. And someone says, has she shared about the father? Tom was like, it's a big responsibility, and he would have wanted the father's approval. Salma does have a tender moment where she cries, and Tom touches her shoulder to show his support. And the sister said it's nice that Maria feels open and can talk to Tom about their dad because it's a sensitive subject. Tom said, this sister is not going to be oppressed by his job titles. She's not judgmental. And he feels like a different person, and he sees he can be a part of this family in the future. And remember, Maria's dad, was sick, and he went home to say goodbye to that family, and then COVID hit, and he was not able to return home to their family in the UK. So that too adds to the loss, I believe. So Tom later on has a talk with Maria's mom. Tom said he's scared, because there's expectations. And I was like, no, they're not. We just want you to be nice and loving to Maria. So Tom, thanks them for being welcoming and asks for the blessing. And he says it's not a normal situation, but it's important that Maria feels comfortable and the mother is comfortable giving him her blessing. Mom says she's apprehensive because they really don't know each other, but she's giving her blessing and just be good to each other. It was a wonderful moment. And he takes her hand. She asks for his hand. She's like, can I have your hand to walk back over to the family? It was so sweet. It was so really, really sweet. Sabrina and Stephen, I know we say it in the US, Birmingham, but I know in the UK they probably say Birmingham. Am I saying it right? Say it in the comment. Birmingham. Hopeless cause. Please don't judge me. So his friends and his brother are coming to have a visit with him and Sabrina. Stephen feels like he's found his life partner and said he didn't tell anybody about the experiment. Oh my. Whenever they don't tell their family and friends, it's a higher hill to climb. Just tell somebody, please. Somebody got to know. Jeez Louise. So they changed the friend's name. It was Damien Jamie and Jim is his brother. Damien said, yes, it's crazy. He wouldn't do it. It took him 5 years to propose to his wife and then 2 years to actually get married. 7 whole years. Damien. Ooh, child. When I was younger, it was a 5-year limit. If we ain't talking about marriage by the 3rd year and then be married by the 5th, we done. And sorry, can't. So Damien, couldn't. Jamie says, well, how does this distance thing work? Because she lives in Northern Ireland and, Stephen lives, London, UK, England area. Sorry, England area. I misspoke when I said UK. So Jim is like, are y'all moving? Jim is the brother. She was like, there's no rush to make a decision right now. We'll keep both of our places and we'll make up our mind as to what is best for us. Jamie is like, if the wedding's tomorrow, are y'all going to say yes? Sabrina's like, we'll see. We don't know. Sabrina. Steven's like, they're apprehensive, He understands why they're apprehensive, and he is deeper in this relationship than he's been in any other relationship. Sabrina says she wanted someone to add to her life and not become it. And Jamie's like, oh, yeah. Y'all the same. I see it. Y'all the same. So, yeah, I get it. Sabrina said she quit her job and could set up her own agency. And they asked, what kind of agency? She's like, sports and hospitality marketing. Y'all, let's pause right here because Miss Sabrina unemployed? Just like Bobby is unemployed. Bobby ain't on the cruise ships no more. He said he was leaving that. He don't have another career that we've heard of other than this music video from 2 years ago. So Miss Sabrina is unemployed. Y'all were talking about Benaiah, and how he's house sitting and homeless and all this stuff. But he got a job. And we'll learn more about his job later. So are we more accepting because Sabrina is the lady? Or are we going to look at her like we looked at Ben? And are we going to look at Bobby the same way we look at Ben? Bobby ain't got no job right now. So again, put it in the comment section. Sabrina quit her job before this experiment. So, and it could take time to set up an agency, and then for it to be successful, it may take a couple of years. Stephen says he does not introduce anyone he's dating to his friends and family. So, Stephen, you keep your dating history real under wraps. Yeah, I'm going to have to look at that. Jim says, it's not what he thought Stephen would do. This is so outside of what he knows his brother would do. Jamie's like, this is bonkers. It's crazy. But if this helped y'all find each other, it's lovely. Very lovely. Stephen says, that's an approval. Tell Sabrina, hey, that's an approval. Damien says, they have a glimmer and they like each other, and he could see how it can work. We have Nicole and Ben, and we're meeting. We are with Nicole and Benaiah. We are meeting her parents. When I saw Nicole's parents, I immediately thought her dad looks like Aaron Neville. Now, if you don't know who Aaron Neville is, look it up. Look up who Aaron, Aaron Neville, Neville. I think that's how you spell it. He's saying Stand By Me, and he's saying Everybody Plays a Fool. I can't remember any other song by him, but the minute I saw her dad, I said, that's Aaron Neville. I'm sorry. I don't know what's with these Love is Blind people, but their parents, at least one parent, look like a rock star in Love is Blind Mexico. And now here, Nicole's dad looks like an R&B singer. It is wild. The mom's name is Larice, and dad's name is Michael. Nicole told her dad about Ben, but not about the engagement or the wedding. Now remember, Nicole is divorced. Daddy might have lots to say. Daddy may not approve. Mom says you did well. She said it in Lebanese. I don't know. They say that on Love is Blind, the captions, but I don't know if her mom is from there. Dad asked Ben, what do you do? Okay, y'all, now we know. We're going to learn what Benaiah does. He says he does landscaping. He builds log cabins and he does decking. And Dad was like, wow, really? Dad was captivated. I'm telling you, I loved how Nicole's dad approached this, and her mom too. Her mom was allowing the dad to question Benaiah, but it was such a openness and warmth from the parents that I was expecting them to be very standoffish and more cold because, Nicole is divorced before, so they want to make sure and protect her. But they were so open and warm. So Dad was, wow, and oh my God, you build log cabins and you build decking? Ben says, he'll have to be back and forth, from here, in North London. Dad's like, how did you get roped into this? And Benaiah says the dating world was all about looks, but this was all about the person inside. Nicole tells her parents, we did this whole experiment and we came out engaged. And on the wedding day, we decide if we're legally married or we walk away from each other. Daddy was like, say what now? Daddy perked up and was like, what we talking about here? And then one eyebrow went all the way up to his forehead. He's like, you hear this? Mom just quietly listening. She just nodding and listening. Dad is like, you know what you're doing. And some marriages don't work. Nicole has been married before. And, y'all look like you have what it takes to make a relationship work. Just take each day at a time and one step at a time. Daddy. Nicole's dad was exceptional in this moment and in this whole visit. I really liked how open he was. Nicole says, as long as we respect each other's differences, we'll be fine. Mom perks up and says, it's a matter of patience and love grows. Ben said, we've navigated through a rough patch, and Mom just say, hey, we wish you all the best. And Nicole said, she told Benaiah, I told you, it was either they're going to be acting crazy about it or they're going to be supportive. Either one. Mom says it looks like they have found each other. And Nicole and her parents touch each other's hands and say shalom. And I was like, is Nicole Muslim? Or is this just a greeting? It was very interesting. I had never seen anyone. They just touched each other's hand and said shalom. I had never experienced that before or seen that. It was very touching because it was just, a physical touch of reassurance. And Benaiah was too funny. He's like, is it too soon for me to get that kind of touch attention to you? And everybody laughed. And Dad reaches over and touches him. And then Benaiah reaches over and touches her mom's hand. It was wonderful. And Benaiah said he was worried about meeting her dad. The dad said, you seem to be a decent man, and I wish you both the best. And Ben says he feels so accepted. And he just loves her parents to pieces. And Nicole's like, I feel we're getting married. I have every faith, it'll be just the two of us. And that is how we end episode 7. So we have just covered 5, 6, and 7 in this just over an hour and 15 minutes. I thank you so much for joining me. And I wish you would join me for the next installment, which are episodes 8 and 9. Yes, Netflix dropped 5 episodes on us today. What do we do to deserve this? Because I'm tired. But thank you again for joining me. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, share it with a friend. Let me know your thoughts. Do you like this? And I won't ask you till the next installment whether or not you think each of these couples are going to get married. See you on the next one.